So, if you're like me, you're probably watching last night's Game Awards hoping for Half-Life 3 or maybe a first look at the next Elder Scrolls. Sad to say we weren't that lucky, but we did get a trailer for the new Game of Thrones game, and yeah, we're still not that lucky, but it is getting better, kinda. So a couple weeks ago, Netmarble announced that they were releasing a new Game of Thrones game set around Season 4 that would focus on a new character working to stop the White Walker invasion of Westeros. If you're not familiar with Netmarble, then they're the company that made the 2017 mobile game Star Wars Force Arena, which was shut down 2 years later. They also made the mobile game Marvel Future Revolution, which was also shut down 2 years later. Yeah, it's not looking good, boys. It's not looking good, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. And as always, before we get into the video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, all that crap, and let's jump into this. Let's take a look at this.
In the name of the warrior, I charge you to be brave. In the name of the father, I charge you to be just. In the name of the mother, I charge you to defend the innocent. Arise, a knight of Renan's Rest.
Castle Black is the only thing standing between the White Walkers and the Seven Kingdoms. We could use your help.
I'm nothing but a northern bastard from a powerless house.
Don't underestimate northern bastards. Someone must gather the support of the great houses.
Attaining your father's name will be hard. Making your own will be harder. It is up to you to decide which is more worth your while.
Modesty won't get you very far in King's Landing. Do at least try to feign a little arrogance. We find it far more familiar.
You've seen the White Walkers yourself. You know what they can do. They have to be stopped.
John, I will see it done.
Like it or not, winter is coming.
So again, the game is set in the HBO continuity of the series during Season 4, and the whole gimmick is that you play an original character who gets to interact with main characters before or after they get involved in their own major plot lines. For example, it's quite clear that your character will be interacting with Jon Snow before he goes off on his quest to eliminate the mutineers at Craster's Keep. Hell, based off the trailer, you might even join him on that quest, and then, on your way back to Castle Black, you'll fight off a White Walker ambush and whatever have you. Star Wars does this all the time, where you read about a side story that takes place during one of the movies, and that the original character is just around the corner, and you'd see them if the camera just turned a little bit in that direction, and it seems like we're getting the same thing here, which isn't new for the series. The 2012 video game and the Telltale game did the same thing, so I'm sure any future installment will try to fit itself into the HBO continuity as well. So according to the website, the description for the game reads, enter the world of the HBO hit series Game of Thrones. Experience the open-world action RPG with an original story found only in Game of Thrones Kingsroad. Somehow I don't think we'll be getting an actual open-world RPG, despite what they're saying here. If anything, it'll kind of be like the hub-style situation that we got in Witcher 2. For example, a true open world would be something like Skyrim, where you can go anywhere and explore the entire province, whereas here, we'll probably go to major locations and explore those castles and the surrounding areas, but not beyond that. Like, I doubt we'll be able to go into Maidenpool or Goldtown. There's a lot of locations in Westeros that I don't think could all fit into a mobile game, though based off some of the footage later, it does look like they're trying as hard as they can to make it more open than it is, so I'll keep an open mind. In the lore tabs, they give us a rundown of what's going on, and it reads, King Robert Baratheon, first of his name, is dead. As the Lannisters desperately cling to the Iron Throne, the war between those who would claim it for themselves hurls towards its final act. The king's brother Stannis Baratheon gathers his forces for a final assault, while the vast frozen lands of the north smolder after the betrayal at the Red Wedding. When kings squabble, it's the realm that bleeds. And while blacksmiths, farmers, and beggars suffer, the great houses of Westeros continue with their plots and schemes. To the far north, at the edge of civilization, stands the Wall. Beyond it, thousands of wildlings band together in a desperate push to bring it down. Only the Brothers of the Night's Watch, sworn to protect the realm from what lies beyond, know the truth behind the wildlings' sudden panic. An enemy colder than death lurks in the darkest reaches beyond the Wall. Its undead armies march south without rest. But to the noble families of the Seven Kingdoms, the White Walkers are only a story and the pleas of the Night's Watch no more than a distant whine. Fortunately, there are those who still heed the Night's Watch call. Among them, the head of House Tyree, a minor house from a modest keep in the remote reaches of the north. With his sole heirs slaughtered at the Red Wedding, his strength leaving his body, and time running out, Merrick Tyree summons you, his illegitimate child, back to defend your ancestral home. For it's the Night's Watch falls who will protect the realm from the coming winter. One way or another, all of Westeros will soon learn what you already know. Winter is coming, and the dead follow in its wake. As the best hope of House Tyree and the Night's Watch, it falls to you to obtain your father's name, ready your lands for winter, and convince the nobles of Westeros that the White Walkers are no mere tale to frighten children. Rally support throughout the Seven Kingdoms, for when you play the Game of Thrones, you live or you die, there is no middle ground. So, just like we saw in the trailer and based off this map here, our character will need to travel Westeros, or mostly along the Kingsroad, to convince noble lords and ladies to the cause of fighting the Walkers. On the map here we can see some of the houses we might be interacting with. No House Aaron or Tully, which sucks, but the Stannis banner is over Dorne. That's a weird one. Probably a mistake on their part. But in the next tab we do see that our character does go to Dorne, along with other locations, and it kind of reminds me of the exploration you do in the Batman Arkham games, traversing over buildings, knocking down crates to get across locations, and even the combat seems very Arkham-esque, but that would make sense considering this is Warner Brothers. I'm not too familiar with this company's other games, so if anybody has ever played any of their previous titles, then feel free to let me know if this is familiar to what they've done before. And of course, we do have our playstyle of choice. Normally we get some variation of the usual three, which is Warrior, Mage, and Rogue. Here it's Knight, Sellsword, and Assassin, which seems a little random. I understand Knight and Assassin, sure, but Sellsword just seems like the Knight class with a two-handed weapon instead. In the 2012 Thrones game, you could play as a mage-like character with Alistair Sarwyck, or go for a druid-like character with Mors Westford. So the series isn't a stranger to the Dungeons & Dragon-like classes, but I guess they wanted to keep it simple this time around, which is fine. But that's pretty much where I'm at with this. It looks fine. It has those last-gen graphics, which, again, is fine. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little tired of not having a true open-world Game of Thrones game. Something like Skyrim or even Baldur's Gate 3, that would be great. And the world is definitely suited for something like that. This being a mobile game kind of turns me off a bit, simply because I'm expecting a bare-bones, low-effort type of schlock that's just there to try and squeeze money out of you with microtransactions. Judging by the footage we did see from the website, it looks like it's more than that, but appearances can be deceiving, so... and again, this is a mobile game, and usually the whole point of mobile games is to get you addicted enough to minimal gameplay while asking you for more and more money so you can have better stats on something. It's just not my cup of tea, but this does look interesting that I may check it out. Though I will say I am expecting our character to be involved in major events and possibly even sway some characters to make decisions that would later impact the main story. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Stannis' reason for heading to the Wall at the end of Season 4 was because our character helped convince him off-screen or something. But as always, let me know what you guys think. Is this something you'd be willing to check out, or does it being a mobile game keep you away? Judging by the gameplay, it does look like it should have been a console/PC type of situation, but who knows. I will say I find it funny how they got people to do impressions of the cast instead of the cast themselves, but they're probably trying to save as much money as they can, because who knows how much it costs to get Kit Harington back in here to repeat, "I don't want it," over and over every other minute. But again, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.